I'm going to 100% Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, which means lots of modes. There's a story mode that needs to be beaten along with collecting all the energy spheres and clearing the challenge stages. There's the extra mode where I'll have to do it all over again, but it's harder. Then there's Magolor's Epilogue, 100 missions at Merry Magoland, and 2 boss rush arenas. Modes, 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 and modes. Our story begins with King DDD chasing down Kirby to get some cake.
Give me that cake.
No way.
Meanwhile,
a portal appears with a ship emerging from it, losing many of its parts as it crash lands into planet Popstar. The crew investigates the wreckage, and inside they meet Magolor, who is distraught about his ship's condition. Kirby offers to help find all the missing parts. In fact, we'll all help. I'm just here. So how do we help Magolor track down the missing pieces? By killing innocent Waddle Dees, of course.
Wait, what?
By the way, these Kirby games always seem to be begging me to reference The Legend of Zelda, and I'm not gonna stop now. The main collectible in this game are energy spheres from Magolor's ship. Why don't they just call them gears? Then we're introduced to this game's gimmick, super abilities. Suck up one of those star 4-headed foes and feel the power run through your veins. I finally get to play the game that inspired Kirby's Final Smash and Super Smash Bros. The novelty kind of wears off quickly though, since the move is simply done by pressing a button as you easily destroy enemies. A for presentation though. In order to 100% this game, it's important to check every crevice to discover these star-shaped tears that lead to bonus areas. These sections strip away the ability you had equipped, forcing you to progress through it with only the power of suck. That is, until you get to the end. Flamer! Face one of the sphere doomer creatures who are the mini-bosses of these secret areas, and wha-bam! Gather the remaining gears from this stage, then bounce off a trampoline to top things off. That's the gist of things stage to stage. And I'm here for it because all the copy abilities are what make Kirby unique. I can also be like my favorite superhero, Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Are you kidding me? You can web sling and star allies, but not in Return to Dreamland? Okay, you do get a portable cannon, so that's cool, I guess. You thought you could hide from me, you little gear? Gigant, when are you gonna learn the beam is mightier than the sword? Heh, loser. I was joking. Of course I want the sword. No one saw that. With that, Merry Magoland is unlocked. Wait a minute, how did you build all of this, but you can't fix your ship? Boy, those games do look fun to play though. One of them being this video sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends, the free-to-play game that gives you the chance to win Amazon gift cards up to $1,000. Don't skip so you can find out how. To celebrate Raid's 4th anniversary, let me explain why it's a great game in acronym form. R is for RPG, where you can play as hundreds of champions along with a story to follow. A is for accessible, because Raid is free to play on both mobile and PC. I is for infinite amount of gameplay with the many modes of Raid, including a campaign, dungeons, an arena, and much more. D is for the champions designs, which is my favorite part about this game, such as Demon Spawn Countess Lix. And the Valentine's Day event is a must for new players. Try out the Raid Love Quest by downloading Raid using my link below, copy your in-game player ID, then head to this website. By simply playing the Raid-themed minigames, you could win Valentine's Day-themed champions and even Amazon gift cards worth up to $1,000. But there's more! When new players use my link or scan the QR code right here, you'll get a free starter pack with this cool in-game loot. If you already play Raid, I got you. Use the special promo code STValentine23 that everyone can use to get a small Valentine's gift. Thank you, Raid, for sponsoring this video. And you get dress-up masks. Hi, Rick. Hi, Rick. Hi, Rick.
My name's not Rick!
I take the mask off to avoid further confusion, then find this trumpet that protects Kirby, strikingly similar to the tactics of a certain Bible story.
As we fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho.
Kirby's godly powers continue to expand when he swallows the Super Fire ability, granting him the authority to summon a draconic monster at will. Contrary to popular belief, Kirby enjoys deforestation. But hey, at least it helps find us those hidden secrets, including an ability I've yet to use.
Laser Leap now!
Ugh, can't believe I already missed a gear on the 4th stage. Sneaky, sneaky. On to the first boss, which is a classic, that being Wispy Woods. And just like the classic he is, I roast him like a freshly cooked hamburger in Waddle Dee Town on a Tuesday afternoon. For whatever reason, Wispy was guarding the ores to the lore star cutter. You seem like a nice guy, Magolor, but are you ever gonna get off your butt and help? The answer is no. However, Magolor opens up the right side of his ship, revealing challenge rooms that unlock as I gather the gears. Each area tests your skills with a highlighted ability, this one being the sword, to see if you can finish the course fast enough while gathering points along the way. There's also the mini game room, but Shadow the Hedgehog disapproves. Level 2, here we come. The Raisin Ruins. Yeehaw! Do my eyes deceive me?
I got a golden ticket.
Hey Kirby, do you want some waddle? Waddle what? Waddle these nuts! Anyways, after beating a stage, you can exchange your tickets for stamps, which can net you rewards. I didn't see the value in this until the end of my playthrough, which you wouldn't believe would be my saving grace. But for now, I head back to the desert for some surfing. Sliding down the sandy slopes, appreciating the adorableness of Kirby wearing swimming goggles, and attaining the super ability for the power of beams. So far, this has been the most interactive one, requiring you to control an electric ball destroying your surroundings. More star tears means more gears, which means another challenge room is unlocked. Could it be? Is that One Punch Man? It's actually One Jump Man. It is I, King Doo. More like King Doo-Doo, am I right? All right, enough with the lighthearted attitude. We gotta make it through this darkness. Oh, never mind, there's a candle. Well, that made things effortless. And the gimmicks don't stop there. Now I have an invincibility crystal, which makes me invisible. However, the crystal is still visible. No one's gonna question the floating crystal? Anyone? Well, okay then. Let's cut some rope, enter the star tear that goes from right to left as opposed to the normal left to right layout. Slay a doomer and get out of here. Now for the boss, Mr. Dooter. Oh, you like to juggle? That's cute. Well, I have a whip, and you've been a bad boy. Yeah, you like that? You like the pain, don't you? Don't run from what you love. How could someone named Dooter not like being whipped? Nothing weird about that fight at all, and I don't want to hear about it in the comments. The important thing is that the lore star cutter got one of its wings back, and the onion ocean is open for business. Like, is this water really diluted with the disgustingness of onions? I mean, onions are actually okay if they're grilled on like a delicious animal-style burger from In-N-Out, but I digress. For the first time, I find the RoboCop ability, which given some time becomes my favorite one in the entire game. Having it introduced at the beach makes no sense at all, though.
Somewhere there is a crime happening.
But maybe it actually does, since there's a snowman hanging out here too. I slurp him up and voila, super ice. I never knew how threatening a giant snowball could be. The whipping room is now open. Kirby, I think you enjoy using that too much. Next stage, I dive into a body of water inside a cave. Now, there is a problem with swimming. When underwater, you cannot use your abilities, which makes it troublesome to proc switches as seen here. Allow me to correct myself. You cannot use most abilities underwater. There are some exceptions like the spear. Gear acquired. Sick of stepping on random glass while walking in the sand, Kirby puts on a boot. This is very reminiscent of Karibo's shoe from the Mario games. Kirby's isn't as smooth of a ride though, but it gets the job done. Right before reaching the end, I'm eaten by a giant eel. Personally, the fact that there are creatures like that in the real world just gives me the creeps. Into the next stage I go, where I incorrectly chose the wrong path out of the 3 routes to get a golden gear at the end of the current. I exited the stage so I could do it over, and I messed up again. Please let this be the right one.
Righteous! Righteous!
This giant squid cowering behind a shipwreck just shows how threatening Kirby is. This freaking sea monster is frightened by the sight of a pink marshmallow, and for good reason too.
Let's get him low!
One Jumpuman challenge.
Jump, jump. Crisscross will make you jump, jump. Jump, jump.
Looks like this fatso's the Onion Ocean boss. I ain't fat phobic. He's literally called Fatty. Rolling around at the speed of sound. Okay, Dude is trying a little too hard. In response to my bombardment of mech blasts, the puffer supersizes and starts rolling around again, which I simply avoid by flying over him. Seems to be a common theme to dodging his attacks. Alright, cough it up, big boy. Give us the other wing to the lore star cutter. And let's trek on over to the wintry wonderland called White Wafers, where the gears like to hide inside sneaky holes up in the ceiling. You gotta make sure you check every corner of the level, since some of the hidden parts are even on the edge of the bottom of the screen, where you initially wouldn't think anything would be there. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the wonderful voice of Kirby. Oh geez, now there are pooping snowbirds? It honestly looks horrendously painful. I skate past the falling snowman, use ninja speed to make it past the closing gate in time, then find a monkey with a star on its forehead, which means the final super ability has been discovered. Another interactive one that requires you to rotate the joystick, enabling the hammer to grow, obliterating anything in its path. The secret areas are now starting to show a slight increase in difficulty, as you must make good use of your time clearing the obstacles as the wall of void chases you down. And I just now learned that you can slow it down by spitting stuff at it. This doomer wields electric powers, and that's about it. Because the only thing that can truly stop me is my own stupidity. Yeah, my brain must have been turned off in the cold, because it was not comprehending how to get this bomb to the top of the cliff. Took me a hot minute just to realize I could simply chuck the bomb on the platform, then activate the switch. An actual tricky scheme was up ahead, which I actually failed a few times, but I eventually got the timing right and was successful in progressing further with this key to obtain another gear, opening up the bomb challenge, where you guessed it, I used bombs to beat it. I go from bowling with bombs to bowling with snow using actual pins.
Do you want to build a snowman?
No.
I only came for the secrets. The last skier I needed from the Icelands was one that tested my racing prowess. Was that supposed to be hard? Ah, dang it. Remember to drop through the platform this time, and it's over. Dope! It's not over. Let's do this again, and jump, 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 jump! There we go! Atop a glacial mountain awaited the boss of White Wafers, Goliath. Heading into this battle without an ability that can fire projectiles was a mistake, because often I'd hurt myself when getting up close to attack. Some of his moves were predictable, but the most annoying part about him was his constant moving jump from one side of the screen to the other. Maybe what I actually needed was an ability that can strike above me. Just when I thought I had things handled, Goliath breaks the ground beneath us, dropping us down a level. He shows off an ice Kamehameha, then rips out the platform from beneath us again. This ended up being the closest boss fight yet, which I guess makes sense because the difficulty should do that in a game. Overall, his mobility and my poor choice of copy ability is what brought this result. But as usual, I come out as the winner. Magolor's emblem is returned to his ship. Was that really a necessary feature to have, though? I mean, you could go back home without it instead of wasting my time. Whatever, on to Nutty Noon. Pretty generic world if I say so myself. Looks like a typical green first level, except it's in the sky. The second stage then takes a thematic turn, feeling a bit out of place, going from the Greenlands to high castle walls. As for the actual gameplay, it is expounding on the mechanics, keeping my interest. During the third stage, I had to start thinking outside the box. Otherwise, these time puzzles would get the best of me. Of course, why didn't I think of that in the first place? Jumping while being midair. The challenge for the mech suit opened up for me to combat other mechas with a fully charged blaster. Back at it with the story, I see the scenery has once again changed within Nutty Noon, and I decide for whatever reason to bounce myself into the atmosphere of Planet Popstar.
Looks like Team Rocket's blasting off again!
The final stage of this level, I climb up a ladder, fly past the door, and find a secret entrance. A gauntlet of mini-bosses commences, featuring Big Baby Water Dragon, King Doodoo, a robot from the WALL-E movie, the understudies of Meta Knight, and King Kong with his pet boulder.
That is a nice boulder.
Before taking on the real boss, I stupidly grabbed the wing ability out of the options I had before me. I hadn't really used it in this playthrough yet, which is why I gave it a chance. The damage output was pitiful though, so I gave up the power because star shots looked like they were going to get the job done faster. As for the boss, they are known as the Grand Doomer, essentially a more threatening mini-boss than the smaller Doomers we usually face in those star-shaped tears. It tries to use the Shadow Realm to pull off a sneak attack, but I retaliate with its own energy. The second phase gets easier, with the creature spouting a spurge of energy orbs at me. However, not all of them can be sucked up. With just a sliver of health left, the Grand Doomer curls up into a ball, summons minions, and hurls itself at me. I swallow the super sword right as it appears to effectively effectively penetrate its armor. A total of 4 hits would crack its protection, and timing was key for every attack to be successful. With the last bit of the enhanced shield falling apart, one last Ultra Sword button press was all that was needed. The Lore Starcutter's final piece, the mast, had been restored. We go tell Magolor the good news, and to celebrate, he offers to fly us to his home world, Halcondra. Wait a minute, I thought this game was called Kirby's Return to Dreamland, not Kirby's Departure from Dreamland. Where's the complaint department when you need them? Halcondra does look cool. It's got a dragon. Uh-oh. The dragon doesn't like us. Blasted creature shoots us down upon arrival after I just fixed this darn thing. Well, not doing that again until I slay that dragon myself. On to level 6, the egg engines? Strange name for an industrial place with lots of machinery. Throughout the stage are orbs filled with nap abilities to catch you off guard. The first one here teaches you the danger of what could happen, so best not grab them at the wrong time in the wrong place. The Doomers here take on the mechanical-inspired silver coloring as well. Orbiting around the flying creature are 5 energy balls that home onto you when dropped. It also likes to ground pound with a frosty layer around it. New kinds of foes continue to appear, and my first instinct should not be to attack them, because if you just waltz past them in a passive manner, they're like, it's all chill here, bruh. By the way, I don't get why you can't use abilities underwater unless it's something like the spear. What's so special about a wooden stick, but I have to plop out of the water to use my rock? Then there are the punishing parts, like this section where if you don't get everything right on the first try, you have no choice but to quit and start over if you want to collect every gear.
Here we go again.
Alright, let's kick things up a notch in this windy section. Whoa, Kirby, too fast. Here we go again. Let's chill out with this water challenge. No lava can harm me with these powers. Ah, rats. Oh, you think that's funny, don't ya? Well, you can all freaking die! Back to the grind of finding every gear, no pun intended. Where if you make one mistake in these dark, murky waters, you'll have to restart, because it's too late to go back by the time you realized what you missed. At this point, it's just an excuse to spread out 5 gears per stage. Speaking of which, this is the 5th and final stage of Egg Engines where it embarrassingly fails at squishing Kirby. Multiple times, in fact. I don't mind though, give me those easy gears. That wraps up all the ones lost in this level, meaning it's boss time now. And I gotta say, I absolutely love this design. Its name is Metal General, and it's got the ultimate mixture of inspiration taking the form of some sort of shark ninja. And it's got a lightsaber.
Cool vibrations.
It's unfortunate the beam nullifies most of its attacks, especially the missiles, but I'll just drop a little teaser saying this won't be the last time we see this boss. Guy's got his own freaking rocket? I can't get enough of this dude. As of this moment, Metal General is now my new favorite Kirby character, and it's a dang shame they didn't put him in Kirby Star Allies. Bye-bye for now. As I head into the last level, I can't help but miss General Metal, so I walk up to the Waddle Dee, wearing the nice bow tie, and ask them to hand over the map for General Metal. Booyah! This is gonna be my drip for the rest of the story, and things are getting intense with lava being the main terrain, which I've noticed Nintendo likes to put in their final levels. Lucky for me, the Super Snow ability drops out of nowhere and somehow counters lava. I would think in most cases that kind of heat would melt ice from a snowman. At one point, Kirby straight up freezes a volcano, then shatters it. How? That's the most genuine question since the Insane Clown Posse has asked this.
Magnets, how do they work?
For real though, this secret area is the hardest of them all. One wrong suck at the wrong time and boom, you're dead. I failed this specific part quite a few times. The whole segment is rather long too, so the frustration I experienced from it just made things worse as I was punished for being impatient trying to rush through it. Eventually, I got the timing right, jumping right before sucking in that huge block, and
I was patient. Now I can scream that we made it.
Kirby takes to the skies with the wing challenge.
I'm going in!
By the way, I kind of look like Optimus Prime, don't I?
Autobots, roll out.
I couldn't enjoy the look as long as I wanted to since I needed these ninja powers. Then into a hidden room I went. This is the last stage of the story, and what better way to end it with a vertical trek up a lava structure, while at the same time hanging onto a key that is needed for completion. The end of Kirby games are the most thrilling for me. I mean, you get to freaking slice a volcano in half. What more could you ask before. Inside are 2 sphere doomers instead of the usual one. Still not a big enough advantage to make a difference. There's one more challenge room, but I'm gonna keep it brief because I just want to get into the final boss. It highlights all the items we've used on this adventure, including the key, the boot, the cannon, yada yada yada. You get the point. Now let's go battle the quadruple-headed dragon. Landia is the menace's name, and he's already breathing fireballs upon us. They could be a Pokemon though, because what other kind of creature would use a move like Tail Whip? Get back to the fire breathing. That's what you're good at. And sure, why not? Blow some wind at me, will ya? Bombs were definitely the right choice for this battle, since you simply lobbed them at the levitating being. With over half of their health depleted, they split into 4 separate entities and continue to rain fire upon me. They then put on a laser show, which was very kind of them. However, it's time for your end. Woo! Dragon defeated, and we even took their crown. Bravo, Kirby. You've earned your reputation as a hero. Your help defeating Landia was invaluable. At long last, it's mine. The source of limitless power. The Master Crown. And that's why you don't talk to strangers, kids. Nothing beats King Dedede's shocked face, though. Magolor then monologues how he used us to defeat Landia for him, and now he plans to conquer the entire universe, starting with planet Popstar.
No biting, Kirby!
Oh, looks like Landia is our friend now. Let's go stop Magolor. Are you kidding me? A shmup level? This game just keeps getting better. I would honestly play a whole Kirby spin-off that was dedicated to this style of gameplay. Anywho, remember that blasted ship I spent so much time putting back together? Yeah, looks like it's my next nemesis.
Dodge! Dodge! Dodge!
Target neutralized.
Bandana Waddle D? King Dedede? Meta Knight? You were all here the whole time? Some help would have been nice.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Red leader down. Blue leader down. Hang in there, Meta Knight. Oh, he's a goner. And so am I. Kirby crash lands into another dimension. I have him grab his Autobot armor, then give him a chance to exact revenge on Magolor. Truth be told, it's not a complicated battle. Spamming my up attack negates most, if not all, of his energy attacks. You can see his attacks coming from a mile away and have ample time to avoid them. So yeah, keep up the spam attacks and it's a breeze. However, to save himself from losing, he shields himself in a similar way to that Grand Doomer I fought earlier, where super attacks are needed to chip it away. And just like with the Grand Doomer, it ends with the Ultra Sword, except this time with the competition of who can whirl their joystick the fastest. Optimus Prime, finish him! What? Magolor's got another form? Well, I wasn't ready for that, and this time I am ready for him. Overall, it feels like more of the same. Just like before, there are spikes to avoid, and Magolor himself is thrown at Kirby. The second half of the fight is where things get interesting, as Magolor dual-wields swords and uses magic in multiple ways unique with each use. Unlike the last attempt, I got him this time, ending his short reign of the universe. Kirby and the gang hop back on the Landia Dragons and return to... oh, I get it now. Kirby's return to Dreamland. The group safely lands back home, except for King Dedede, who somehow got his head plunged into the ground and emerges with a flower atop his head as if he were playing another game. Welcome home, guys. The story mode is 100% cleared, but the save file is not. The good news is, most of the remaining modes are now unlocked, and I'm going to jump right into extra mode. Frankly, this is the story all over again, but on a harder difficulty. The changes include more enemies in each stage, Kirby having less HP, every boss and mini-boss having EX added to their title along with more health and attacks. And don't worry, I'm not going to cover everything again because it would just be repetitive. I'm going to summarize over 7 hours of gameplay in around a couple minutes, which is a lot of work on my end. So in return, why not smash that like button? And if you want more Nintendo content, be sure to subscribe. As I gaze at the cosmetic updates of each boss, I can't help but wish that they would have just included this mode as a difficulty option when first booting up the game. I would love a tougher Kirby experience right off the bat. Nonetheless, it's still a good time, yet it could have been better because at points I would lessen the struggle by consuming items, which would not have been as readily available if I hadn't just played an entire campaign beforehand. I did come to regret this decision later, which you'll understand why towards the end of the video. For now, look at my boy Metal General in that nice fresh red coat of paint! Whoa! And a new phase? Looking fresh. General Metal pilots the droid known as HRD3. Battle-wise, I think the robot's Shark Ninja is better suited for fighting outside of it, because all you gotta do to beat this thing is wait for it to slam its fists. Then for the second half, you can get up close and you'll see the machinery fall apart as the fight goes on. Afterwards, I of course gotta sport that Metal General EX mask. Landia contradicts my boy, changing from red to purple. They also like to volley around a fireball now. The Lore Cutter dons a new black look with red trim and barrages us in a bullet hell manner. Magolor's aura follows the red theme, and his soul form comes from total darkness, using the super weapons against me like the hammer. I defeat him once again along with the challenge rooms, resulting in extra mode being 100%ed. Did you ever wonder what happened to Magolor though? After the final battle with him, his body drifted to a strange dimension that stripped away his color. Well, let's dive on into the epilogue and find out. Magolor was banished here with a chance to redeem himself. Most of his powers have been stripped away, thus he must gather magic points to regain his skills. And apple slices, apparently. I don't know why. Maybe Magolor is a big fan of fruit? It does help him relearn how to cast magic bombs, so sure, I'll go find more. He's also got a menu in which he can spend the magic points to upgrade the skills he currently has on hand. So off we go to each stage to restore Magolor. I try to kill every enemy to gather all the points I can. Before I know it, I'm already through with this one, and in between levels, these entrances called ordeal doors can appear, which are essentially Magolor's challenge rooms. It should also be noted that these ordeal rooms are really short, and in my opinion, the stages that follow all feel kinda samey with hardly any noticeable differences. To use these short windows of time effectively, I spend most of my magic points to increase the length of time a combo can last. This makes attaining gold medals more attainable, which you need to get for every stage in order to unlock the secret last level. Some areas do require a specific skill to be a certain level, like in this case, levitation needs to be upgraded, so I make sure to have some spare energy to complete those. And like clockwork, there's gonna be boss battles. Hold up, I thought you were dead!
It's alive!
They must have used some kind of powerful defibrillators to bring Electricity Duder back from the dead. Oh, I got one charged up magic sphere I can't wait to pop at ya. Ah, nuts. Ha! Missed me. Ah, dang it. Just get out of here already and give me your slice of that apple. Magolor learned the Magolor Surge and Magolor Cannon. You know, normal people call those the Dash Attack and the Kamehameha. You don't need to name everything after yourself, bro. The Puffer is back?
This girl is on fire.
Not only are they in flames, but their rolling patterns have significantly changed. Dropping bombs was my preferred way of blowing up this fish. That is, until they supersized and took up a quarter of the screen now. Anyways, fish is gutted and apple slice is mine, along with deadly needle powers in the dimensional vanish. Now you see me, now you don't. Oh man, those spikes are pathetic. They need an upgrade right away. Another one for good measure.
Now that's more like it!
I also took time to max out my shield. You know what they say, the best defense is the best offense. Or maybe I'm just terrified of this liquefied Goliath. It doesn't matter how resisting your shield is though, if you don't anticipate these moves. Thankfully, the long-lasting spikes proved useful as Hydriath would bounce into them often, bringing my apple slice count up to 4, enabling Magolor to possess his final skill, that being the Black Hole. The next 4 bosses were Doomers, and this is where the shield had an opportunity to shine, which I could follow up with by sending up magical spheres from right beneath them. Then I'd continue to spam the spikes, which they would frequently fly into. GG's and good riddance. I feel like I've fought your kind a million times by now. Magolor inputs the 5th apple slice in with the rest, restoring the fruit into some kind of gem. As Magolor beholds the beauty, remnants of the Master Crown interfere and corrupt the apple. Are you freaking kidding me? Another one of those flipping Doomers? How many of there are you?
Leave now and never come back.
Now what's happening? Can't a man have a bite of his fruit? What is the importance of that apple? Is it the forbidden fruit from the Garden of Eden? Because things are rapidly escalating. I mean, come on, an attacking tree laced with gold? You can't make this up. All right, so here's the plan. The branches from the portals are the weak points, not the apples. And watch out for that. The upgrades for my shield are really paying off too. Aesthetically, this is one of the most majestic looking bosses in the game. Take a look at the 3D lasers that come across the 2D plane. This is what makes an epic finale. With about 25% HP left, the Master Crown tree plunges itself over to my side of the field. At first, this was an inconvenience, but then I thought,
Barely an inconvenience.
as this made for an easy target for the Magolor cannon and bombs I could drop on it. The ginormous tree has been defeated. Magolor pulls up a sword from the ground like King Arthur of old, powers it up, then attempts to chop down the sacred tree. What is with Kirby and Magolor when it comes to their deforestation efforts? Well, once again, I can't complain about what brings results. Magolor proves to have been redeemed as his tattered clothes have been replaced with green attire. With the gem apple, he takes one last look at us and waves goodbye. Oh yeah, there's also the secret stage, which I expected more out of, but it's very similar to that one Kirby lava level. Alright, there we go. Epilogue is now complete. However, Magolor's time is not done. He still wants us to play his mini games, along with completing 100 missions related to the subject. Most of them pertain to clearing each minigame on every difficulty. So let me give you the rundown of each one. Egg Catcher is pretty self-explanatory. Samurai Kirby tests who can press a button faster when prompted. Shh, I need to focus. You also need to get at least top 20 in the 100 player mode. Second place, baby! Checkerboard Chase is nostalgic for me since I have fond memories of playing this one on the Nintendo 64. In Magolor's Tome Trackers, you seek the same book that appears in Mustache Magolor's speech bubble. Kirby on the Draw is where you shoot guns. Bomb Rally is a legal way to blow up your friends by smacking a bomb at them with a frying pan. In Smash Star, you ride on a Warp Star by charging your boosts in hope of knocking other players out of the ring. Booming Blasters is a top-down arena-viewed shooter. At the Ninja Dojo, you throw shurikens at targets. And in the Crackety Hat Coliseum, you charge up your punch with a meter and time the crosshair just right to see how far you can put a dent in the planet. Then there are the more specific missions. Some have you going through the motions, like wearing a specific character's mask when playing, or listening to Magolor share facts about the amusement park. Magoland Tours is a feature that has you play 4 rounds of minigames, awarding points depending on your results from each one. Win this way in all 3 difficulties, and that's another mission well done. Now for the ones that actually take some effort. Landing 3 consecutive bullseyes took me longer than I care to admit, but over time, I got it done. Most people will probably think earning over 1,000 points on Master difficulty is the harder challenge. For me, scoring consistently well wasn't the issue. I just sucked at getting bullseyes. As you can see with my results here, I got over 1,000 points without getting many bullseyes in a row. Nevertheless, in my opinion, Crackety Hack had the most brutal challenge, landing a perfect score on medium difficulty. Timing the power bars wasn't the issue. It was that darn crosshair at the end. I could never match it perfectly, which resulted in a mediocre crack in the planet. I started to question if it was even possible. I mean, how is it possible to get closer than that? Only 3 minutes later, I got lucky. $999.99, a perfect score. I couldn't believe I got it that fast. All that was left was to find a hidden Magolor sticker, which completed my quest in completing all 100 missions. Only 2 modes remain. Well, actually only one. The arena is an inferior version to the true arena, so I'm going to put all my focus there. The first waiting room presents every copy ability of your choosing. After conquering the arena and giving this one a few tries, my go-to is the mech suit. The arenas are the boss rush modes of the Kirby franchise and are generally seen as the most difficult part of each game. What makes the true arena stand out more than its normal counterpart is threefold. First, the regular arena holds the main story bosses, while True summons the ones from both the extra modes and Magolor's Epilogue. Second, the arena has 13 bosses. True has 21, the most any Kirby game has ever had. And third, a different amount of recovery items in between fights. During one of my earlier attempts, I only had 1 Maxim Tomato left, but still 10 bosses to go. 10! And they saved the endgame titans for last. That's when I saw it. You can use your bagged items in the arenas. I didn't know that. That's why I mentioned earlier that I would come to regret using these in extra mode. Now I don't have nearly as many as when I started. All hope is not lost though. Participating in level 3 difficulty Magolor tours is the quickest way to receive more stamps, which means more prizes, which means more recovery items. I couldn't stop. I wanted more. After an hour of grinding, I think I had more than enough. I entered the true arena for one final try. That's more damage than I'd prefer after just the first round, but I was feeling good. I learned a couple mech moves throughout my trials and errors too, like bursting energy shots when crouching, dependable fireballs being shot in an upward arc that eliminate opposing projectiles, and best of all, I can store a full charger blast, which I can save for the right time. Sometimes I would get too greedy charging it every available second I had. I'll just blame it on those doomers. I'm still sick of seeing them everywhere. 4 separate battles alone are with these obnoxious cretins. You'd think things are back to normal when getting to Landia. Then 5 seconds later, 4 of them show up at once. In actuality, it's because the Epilogue bosses show up after most of the extra mode ones. But I am giving you my word that this is the last time they will be mentioned in this video. 6 more to go. HRD3 is a walk in the park. Then the Lore Star Cutter is up next. You must remember to heal before this fight. Why? This is not your typical Kirby level. Therefore, you cannot access your items. Fortunately for me, I got the skills to pay the bills and didn't take one lick of damage during that whole dogfight. Magolor was a breeze for me as well, since my ability hard counters him and you don't face his soul form until the finale. As for Galactonite, I must admit, I was not expecting Galactonite. The first half went smoothly, since he wields a dinky sword and I have futuristic technology. The second half was a bit rougher, simply because I didn't know what to expect. It's a good thing that I'm loaded with these energy drinks. Master Crown was the penultimate showdown, and unlike Galactonite, I knew what to expect from it. This machinery enhances my air mobility too, making these laser hurdles a bliss to fly by. The end was near. I could taste it. The grand finale versus Magolor's soul. Well, I'm off to a great start. Things actually started swinging in my favor as I positioned myself right, then guarded when I was supposed to. Then the unexpected happened. I got sucked inside one of his vortexes, stripping away my ability in the process. All of my practice to get to this very moment was done in the mech suit. I needed the mecha. To get it back, I would have to use random copy essence. They're not totally random. As you can see, there is a pattern to the madness. But I hadn't used one of these before and I was under pressure. Failure after failure, I just couldn't get my Robotech. Took 5 bloody attempts to finally get the right one. Ho, you are screwed now, Magolor. For some reason, that beginning was quite the struggle. Thankfully, I found my footing during the rest of it. Oh, we're not done yet? He's got a new form in the true arena that specializes in copy abilities. No! I'm not gonna lose you again, Mecha! Ah, crap. He's using my own medicine against me. That a boy. That's what you need to do. Just float there in the center of the screen and charge up whatever move you got. I can do this all day. Soon after, he summons multiple fire dragons in pairs, sometimes quadruplets. Then he takes me to the upside down. Not a problem. I see what he's got coming. Yes. Yes! This is perfect! Your energy orbs won't catch me off guard either. I'm so close. I just gotta make it. I've come so far. And there it is. The true final ending of the Return to Dreamland. You can rest now, Magolor, and so can you, Planet Popstar. I take my trophy as the crowned winner, and with every mode 100%ed, the game gives me the gold Kirby mask as a reward. Woo! That was quite the meaty Kirby game and a great remake if I do say so myself. A special thank you to my paid supporters, and if you want to see your name credited in future videos, consider becoming a YouTube channel member. You all have a good one. Thanks.